Today I came across this post or this question on Qlik Community, and I wanted to see if I can resolve it. It caught my eye primarily because of this link here. So the individual mentioned that they followed steps in this guide, this one, which is the guide that I've put together. So it's very exciting for me to see that the things that I built and put out there are being useful to other people. So well, this individual said that everything is working. They've successfully followed the guide to recover their Qlik Sense server, with an exception of the bundled extensions. So they are seeing this invalid visualization error message, and they're mentioned that in it, for example, for their Qlik button for navigation extension. And what they've also mentioned is that they've tried reinstalling the bundle, and that didn't really do anything. And so the question is, what could be causing this, and how can this be resolved? So what the one thing that immediately stood out to me was the example extension that was used. So this Qlik button for navigation, if we go to the dashboard bundle documentation, there is this deprecated controls or deprecated extension section, and all the way on the bottom here is the navigation button, which has been deprecated since February 2020. So half a decade ago, this visualization was deprecated. So very likely there's nothing wrong with the recovery process, there's nothing wrong with the extension or really anything else. It could be that the newer version of Qlik Sense, whichever 2023 version is being used here, is simply refusing to render a deprecated extension. So how do we check that? The best way to do it is to see open up an app on the recovered server and see if there are other visualization extensions that are available and are working fine that are part of the bundled extension set. So for example, I can drop a text object here and add an expression here, something basic like that, and see, does it actually render? If it does, which in my case it does, that means that there's no issues with the extension. It's just that one particular extension is deprecated, and Qlik Sense is just simply going, I'm not going to render that. If that's the case, that's kind of bad news because it means that in order to fix that, you would just have to rebuild all of those navigation buttons and replace them with an actual button that is part of the default set of visualization objects. Hopefully you can do something basic like just pull the dot button over the navigation button extension and just do the replace with the button option, and that would replace the extension quite quickly and simply without any issues. This default button does have lots of options for navigation. You have your next sheet, previous sheet, specific sheet. You can specify which sheet you want to go with. A story, website, on-demand app. So there's a lot of navigation options. So hopefully, if that's the case, so if you do see the list of other extensions in this section right here, and they are working, it's just that one deprecated one doesn't work, you might just need to replace the deprecated objects with newer objects. The other thing that I wanted to show, before you do that, however, there's a way to check to see that perhaps it's the extension object itself that's been corrupted. The individual, the original poster, mentioned that they've reinstalled the extensions, and I don't know if there's maybe something with the reinstallation process that may have gone wrong, but there's a quite a simple way to reinstall an extension without reinstalling the entire bundle set. So let me show you what I mean. So on my dev server here, and by the way, take a look at this. I do have Qlik button for navigation extension installed on this server, on the server that I was showing earlier. So here's my dev server. That button, that extension, even though it's installed, it's not showing up here. It's kind of misleading because, you know, you would expect that if an extension is installed, it would show up, but it doesn't. So there's that. But let's go ahead and kind of create this issue where an extension gets corrupted and see what can be done to fix it without reinstalling the entire object, the entire extension set. So I've used this text object to build this this one right here. That's that text object. So let's corrupt it and try to fix it without reinstalling the extension. I'm showing this so that maybe you can, you know, just fix that one extension that doesn't work, and I'll show you how you can do that without reinstalling the entire set. So let's corrupt this extension, and I'll do that by simply deleting it. So I'll go ahead and delete it from my dev server, and I'll go back to the hub. Now if I refresh the application, it goes, I can't visualize this. It's an invalid visualization. This extension is corrupt, or in my case it's missing, but the idea is the same. It's just not there, it's broken. So how do we fix this? What we could do is go to that original server. So this is my test server, and pretend that, you know, the original server that was recovered on the new server, the extension there actually works fine. So what you can do is just export that one single extension from that original server where it works, and then delete it from the new server and import that new working extension, or the original working extension, to the new server, and see if that's going to fix the issue. So I'm going to go ahead and do just that. So I'll export the extension that I have on my test server, and let's go to my downloads folder. I'll put it in my installers, Qlik Sense extension. So this is just a directory that's accessible by both my test server and my dev server. And now let's go to my dev server. So this is the one where the extension is missing, and I'm just going to go ahead and import it. So again, this is the directory where I saved that exported extension, and I'll go ahead and import it. There it is. It's back. So let's see if that's actually going to fix this visualization issue. I'll go ahead and refresh the application, and there it is. It's fixed. It's back. So that is just to show you that, you know, if the issue really is with that extension or that one little object itself, what you could do to try to fix it is simply delete it from the recovered server and import it from the original server. So that might fix the issue. Hopefully it will fix the issue. If not, it could just mean that, you know, the new version of Qlik Sense is just going like, yeah, it's deprecated, time to move on, which is, again, bad news. But you might just need to rebuild the buttons and use the new button, and hopefully it will be as simple as just dropping the new button on top of the visualization that is broken and just selecting this replace with button option, and that would just you know, fix the issue. But there you go. Hopefully that helps. If it does, I'm going to reply and provide all these details on the community post, and let me know if it fixed the issue. If not, we'll keep this conversation going and see what else we can try.